name is Karim Sultan. I'm a curator for the Karim Sultan Foundation and of this exhibition entitled Hereafter, which is taking place between the 6th of January and the 13th of February 2022 here at the B7L9 Art Station. We're here in the Cinematheque where we can see behind me one of the works of the artist Larissa Sansour. 3 of her works are currently on display. The first of which is A Space Exodus, a work from 2009, Nation Estate from 2012, and this work entitled In the Future, They Ate from the Finest Porcelain from 2016. These 3 works comprise what are known as the sci-fi trilogy, in which the artist uses the language, the approach of science fiction cinema to explore issues related to the artist's Palestinian background and many important and often difficult to confront issues to do with Palestine, but rather than through documentary or through other kind of more direct means, using the language and the framework of narrative science fiction. The first of these 3 works, A Space Exodus from 2009, is a short and somewhat playful work with a sense of humor, in which the artist takes a scene from, or rather kind of quotes a scene from Stanley Kubrick's film 2001, A Space Odyssey, and engages with it in a rather quirky way by depicting the artist herself as the first Palestinian in space. And of course, that with the title of the work, A Space Exodus, a number of questions arise, of course. The second of these 3 works, Nation Estate, again looking at the title, gives you some indication as to what the work can be about. So for example, there's the term nation state, which refers to a sort of a nation of people and the institution of the state. But here we see, for example, the term estate, like a housing estate, a housing complex. And in this work, it's a science fiction work that deals with either the utopian or perhaps dystopian reality of building an idealized simulation of a solution to Palestinian statehood. And of course, this work deals and begins to deal with many of the issues around heritage, objects, markers of identity. These themes are carried on and explored in great detail in the third of these 3 works, as I mentioned, entitled In the Future, They Ate from the Finest Porcelain. This work centers around a protagonist, a character who's part of a narrative resistance group. And what this means, again, if we look at the words, resistance, of course, I think that should be pretty self-explanatory, but in terms of narrative resistance, this is where questions of archaeology start to come in. Of course, any nation-state or any national group has a kind of history that can be told through objects, often reaching back far into history, archaeological objects, artifacts, monuments, these kinds of things. But what this character does is engage in a kind of resistance, asserting her own national identity in the presence of a people through a kind of through the placement of objects to be found well into the future, to kind of tell the story of a people that perhaps were never there, were not present in the land in which these objects took place, or were found rather. So there's a number of very, very interesting kind of political, historical questions that emerge in all 3 of these works, and that culminate, I think, in this work. All 3 are currently on display. We have 3 spaces where you can see each of these works individually on loop throughout the course of the exhibition. And of course, you can find out more by looking at our online presence. I invite you and highly urge you to come see these works. This is perhaps one of the first times they've been seen in exhibition format in this way, and certainly the first time here in Tunis. So we look forward to seeing you soon. Thank you.